What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another Q&A session here on RGR Football. Sorry about last night dropping the ball. Things get crazy. Life can get crazy at times, as we all know. So, again, I want to apologize for not having it last night, and hopefully you all find this stream very well, and we enjoy another week where I get to answer some questions from you guys, as Ryan is still out of town. We'll let people trickle in as it, unfolds. Hopefully people come on through so we can have a nice fun Q&A. If not, we'll get out of here pretty early. But either way, I'll answer whatever questions pop up in here. The big point here, you guys. Welcome into RGR Football. My name's Daniel Harms, senior film analyst here. And like I said, we're talking a little bit about the Chiefs defense, right? That's what this is labeled as. They were not the team in terms of sacking the quarterback last year that they had been in previous iterations. And we'll get to that here in a second. You guys come on in. If you're new to the channel, please hit that sub button. Become a member here at Rogue Nation. And then we will work to provide you with the best content that we possibly can every single day of the week that we provide content. As training camp rolls in, as preseason and regular season comes in, we'll have those live game reviews. We'll do the Q&As as well. We'll have more film stuff, and we'll also have those game previews that Ryan and I do every single week. So we're excited to get those back going. But to my point about the defense, last season, the Chiefs finished 19th in the NFL in total sacks with 39. Not great. It's not very good. They were 19th. Again, going back to 2021, they were bottom 4 in the NFL. So they were able to get to the quarterback 50 plus times in 2023 and 2022, 57 in 2023, and then they had 55 in 2022. Both were second in the NFL. So this past season, 2024, with 39, 19th in the NFL, lower half of the league. Not great numbers to see. They have to be able to get after the quarterback this year. There's no if, ands, or buts about it. It's become one of the most important parts about defense in today's iteration of the game. And all we know is that they have Chris Jones. That's what the pass rush is going to be built around. They brought in Ashton Gelati, another guy who's not going to win as quickly. And they sent off the guy they traded for last year, and Josh Uche, who is a guy who wins predominantly off the edge with speed. So it's not the way they want to attack quarterbacks, being with speed. So what can we surmise about the way that the Chiefs want to attack quarterbacks in 2025? Well, they've invested heavier into the cornerback room, right? Bringing in Christian Fulton, drafting my guy out of Cal, Noel Williams. Those are the hallmarks, right? They believe that they can get after the quarterback with the fronts that they have. Hopefully, Charles Menahue coming off of that season last year where, again, he wasn't healthy, with, the season before dealing with the suspension. Hopefully this whole season he's able to provide a little bit more in attacking the quarterback. But overall, it comes from top down. The Chiefs know that Chris Jones can get after the quarterback quickly, and they're going to build around it, right? What's going on, Daryl? Nice to see you. Welcome in, everybody. FLDB, one of our moderators. Thank you for being here. And Jay, this is another reason that they brought in Omar Norman Lott. If you think about the way that it's constructed, right, you have the defensive ends around the edge that don't win quickly, right? It's more of later. They win 2.5 to 3 seconds. Chris Jones and Omar Norman Lott can, even Jerry Tillery can win quickly in the middle of the defense, right? So if you can actually prevent the quarterback from throwing the football down the field with the corners and the way that it's constructed with those players right now, reinvesting in it, then feasibly your defensive ends will have more chances to get after the quarterback. So they have to be able to up the numbers from 39 last year. They have to be able to do that in order to consistently be a top 10, top 5 defense like they have been the last 3 seasons. Last year was kind of iffy. Their run defense took up some of the slack that they were not able to get after with the quarterback and some of the injuries they had on the in the second level. And then you have a lot of problems with maintaining that level of play if you're not able to get after the quarterback on a consistent basis. So when we see, Chris Jones needs to have another 15 plus sack season, in my opinion, for this team to get back to that, you need to have another impact from the guys are surrounding him. Charles Menahue, George Karlaftis needs to be more of a force in a pass rush department. I would love to see 12 plus sacks from him. I don't think it's going to happen, but they need to get more out of George Karlaftis. But again, we see the rotation: Gelati, Dana, FAU, Charles Omenihu. There's going to be a lot of moving parts with the defense this year, but every single season is going to be different, right? We don't know what it ends up turning out to be, but hopefully, I don't know why I did that. Stay up there. Hopefully this team can get back to what it was in terms of sacking the quarterback. What's going on, Daniel? Nice to see you. You guys just come on, filter in. If we have a light show tonight, we have a light show tonight. That's okay. It is what it is. We will, again, I'll answer questions based off of everything that we have right now and do the best with what we got. So, Alex, first question of the night right here. Who ages better play-wise, Josh Allen or Mahomes? It's a good question, and honestly, it makes a lot of sense because Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, physically with the arm talent, right, and the ability that I think both have gotten to this point with throwing the football, are really at the top of their game. Josh Allen takes more hits. Period. End of story. Josh Allen, honestly, the fact that he hasn't started deteriorating yet is fantastic for him, but he takes as many hits as Cam Newton was taking when he was starting to be at the top of his game, right? That's what we saw from Cam Newton. And then it just kind of, cliff came out of nowhere. I'm not saying the cliff's going to come for Josh Allen. It's not what I'm saying. I'm not going to say it's going to be Stoon. But play style wise, Patrick Mahomes will age better than Josh Allen's, just purely based off of the type of hits that they take. Patrick has been able to get out of the way, mitigate square, being hit square on. Josh Allen lowers his shoulder and looks to try to hit people too. Like he wants to do that. We've seen Patrick do it a few times, but it's more like just to score touchdowns based off of him trying to get in the end zone from like 5-10 yards out. But play style wise, for sure, they definitely the edge is definitely for Mahomes, especially if the hits keep coming for Josh Allen. Just pay attention to that for going forward. Appreciate you, Alex. Welcome in, everybody. Hi, Steve. Nice to see you. And Steven, excuse me. Lee, welcome in, everybody. We got about 47 people in here tonight. Again, Ryan is not going to be here today. He's been off on a volleyball camp trip with his daughters. Again, love doing that. My daughter's currently at baseball practice, and so lots of things going on this summer, as we all know. And I just, again, want to apologize, everybody. Yesterday, I dropped the ball. I did not remember what day it was. My wife, with her knee injury, having more time off of work, it's thrown a wrench into my plans and my days. Okay, so we understand, right? We understand that things like that happen, but I'll do my best to not drop the ball in the future. And it's a good thing the training camp and the regular season are on their way, because that'll help save me for sure. Lee, what's going on, man? Thank you for your question. If the Chiefs' success this year is the Chiefs' success this year tied mostly to improvement in both of the trenches? Yes, sorry. My wife wants to know if I got the baby proofing box left outside for someone to pick up. All right. This is part of the process of moving, right? We have to go through all the houses, go through all the house stuff, the closet, the lock, everything in here, see what we want to keep, see what we're going to try to sell and give away. So no rest for the wicked. Improvement in both of the trenches. Yes, without a doubt in my mind. There is zero question. Patrick could not throw the football down the field. They could not stress the defense vertically in any stretch at all. I believe Seth Kaiser just wrote an article today for his Substack, specifically talking about the challenges that the Chiefs have faced over the past few years, maybe just this past year in general, in creating explosive plays. Time is one of them for sure. Willingness to do so is another one. I think that we'll find that coming a little bit better. This next season, I think we'll maybe see a little bit more of the willingness to do so. It did not feel, even with Xavier Worthy early on last year, that they wanted to stress the defense downfield. And then they had the injuries, problems on the offensive line, not willing to let Kingsley Suamataia grow at left tackle, which, they have Josh Simmons now for the future. So we'll see how that works out. But improvement in the trenches is significantly tied to that. And they were able to get to the Super Bowl without the trench play that they had even of 2 years ago, which is incredible to say the least. So, yes, long way of saying absolutely, Lee. Got another one here. But first of all, yes, everyone listen to Scott. Scott knows. Hit that like button. We would definitely appreciate all of that. Myself and Ryan and everyone here at Rogue Nation, as well as RGR with Gary and his videos as well. I believe we're going to have a little bit of a schedule shift this week because of me dropping the ball on Monday. So today, Q&A. Tomorrow, Gary's video is going to go up, and I have a different type of video for you guys on Thursday because of the craziness with which things are going to be happening. Next week, I'm not going to be at home. So Thursday, I'll have a video for you guys that's not inherently film-based. There's some film in it, but it's more of a preview to camp, what some of the camp battles that I'm going to be looking at. Obviously, I'll be interested to hear what you guys are most looking forward to. I didn't include the punter battle, so I'm sure we can talk about that. There's bound to be some of that as well. But I'm excited to see what you guys think about that new type of video for me. Lee, if Simmons wins the left tackle job, is it possible Moore starts at right tackle and the Chiefs trade Taylor, even if they have to eat $10 million? I don't know if you'll be able to trade him. Again, if you can convince someone to take the contract and you can eat some of it, sure. You might be able to do that. But I don't know if you guys remember, but when they signed Jalen Moore, I had this epiphany. I don't know if it was during one of the Q&As where I put my tinfoil hat on. And I said, well, let's just assume that they can still draft tackle in the first round and they can get Josh Simmons. Not just would that help them for the future at left tackle now, even if Josh Simmons doesn't play at all in 2025, which it looks like right now, again, knock on wood, that he is going to be able to play at some point this season because his recovery has been fantastic. But let's assume, again, this was back then, that they don't have him play in 2025 and Jalen Moore starts all season, and then they just say, oh, by the way, Jalen Moore. Yeah, Jalen, you're going to start at right tackle in 2026. Oh, and we're going to extend you now so we don't have to pay you a ton of money to be able to have your bookend tackles for the next 5-6+ years. That's what I'm thinking he can actually do. But I will say, if Simmons wins the left tackle job, I think he's going to start sometime this year at left tackle. And if Juwan Taylor isn't playing up to snuff, I don't even know if they're necessarily going to have to trade him. I would just play Jalen Moore right tackle right away if he's just not playing well, which we honestly haven't seen him play all that well. And if he's not getting better, what's the point at this point, right? At least I believe that Jalen Moore can be a better right tackle than Juwan Taylor. I believe it right now. So we'll see. But that is my theory, my belief, my opinion is that he can absolutely be the right tackle starter. And if they were able to trade him, maybe eat some of that money, I don't know if they will necessarily want to. It would be good for them to be able to do so, regardless of not, So thank you very much, Lee. Steven, excuse me. Why keep Caliendo if we have a chance to upgrade? Because Andy Reid loves him. There's just something about knowing what you're going to get out of a player. I think that Andy Reid likes. He's a safe player. He knows the system. He's going to go in there and do exactly what's asked of him. But, he's just not going to give you any upside. And honestly, he's an awful run blocker. He really wasn't that good of a pass protector either last year. So I don't know personally, but I would say with the potential that CJ Hansen is, if we don't see much more improvement out of him this training camp, this preseason period, I would imagine that that's just a lost cause for the most part, and Caliendo will still be better than that at this point. So there's always good places to have players like Caliendo for depth reasons, but in terms of Hunter Norzad, I believe even Wanya Morris can offer you a bit more at guard than Caliendo can, specifically for upside. But hopefully CJ Hansen takes that next step, and then we don't have to ask that question very often going forward, Steven. FLDB, what's going on? Will we ever get Nightbot back up so we can use commands? You're asking the wrong guy, my friend. I apologize. I will ask Ryan. Definitely. If you have his email, go ahead and email him, add him in the Discord. By the way, if you guys want to join channel here, become rookie level and above, gets access to the Discord. It's awesome. You guys FLDB runs it. We got Stevie in there as well. There's a lot of really great conversations. As the season comes closer, I'm going to do my best to be more active within the RGR football Discord as well. And if you are in there right now and you don't know why you don't hear from me, it's because notifications for whatever reason do not work very well in my Discord on this channel. I don't know why. It's really finicky. If you need to get a hold of me, you want to hear opinion, at me specifically if you are in the Discord channel. But like I said, it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of high-level conversations in there. Whenever things happen, someone always throws it in there, so it's always a lot of fun. That would be rookie level and above get access to that. So, and again, FLDB, I'll do my best to be able to talk to Ryan about that. Hopefully he has a better answer than I do, because I'm honestly at a loss with that. Oh, excuse me. Adam, is FAU a bust or not? I mean, as of right now, I think you can say, yeah, a first round pick that ends up not playing very much. You draft Ashton Gelati, you still have Charles Menihue there, Mike Dana. You can probably qualify FAU as a bust at this point if you want to. I'm interested in terms of what he can actually be, because he's never gotten the opportunity to be a starting defensive end. He's just never been given it. Sometimes you got to go out there and you have to give them the opportunity. And I don't think that Andy Reid, as well as the defensive side with the way Steve Spagnuolo wants to run it, is the best situation to develop a young player and let him start. So it's interesting to see some of the similarities between Kingsley Suamataia and FAU, with they both got high upside potential. Honestly, FAU developed his run defense much better than it was in college. He's gotten stronger at the point of attack. He's using his length better. And I think last year you saw more flashes of get off to be able to rush the passer and his strength. So there are some aspects of his game that he's getting better, but unless you're being thrown out there and asked to actually start, play rundowns, rush the passer, get engulfed in that atmosphere, it's hard for me to qualify you as a bust, because the Chiefs have never actually given him the opportunity to learn what it is to be a starting defensive end in the league. It's just what it is. And I want to see him get that opportunity, but I don't know if he's ever going to get it at this point. I'm hopeful. I just don't know. So I understand everyone wants to qualify FAU a bust, and I think that you can still definitely do that if you want to. If you are new over here, welcome. First of all, please hit that like button. Takes 2 seconds. It really helps us out, get us in the algorithm there. And then sub to the channel would be great too. We'd love more subs. We're trying to grow. We are past 31,000 subscribers here on YouTube, which is fantastic. We want to grow to at least 40,000. I think before the season is over, that'd be a great number for us to get to. But then again, you guys, if you are new to the channel here and you don't know, if you want to ask a question, if you don't want to get lost in the chat, hit the question marks right in front of that question. It helps myself and Ryan pick them out much easier. Let's see, we got a couple of questions that didn't have them, but again, right now it's easy going. We got nowhere to be right now, so you guys don't have to worry so much more about progress for the future. What's going on, Jesse? Nice to see you. I'm excited about Jalen Royals. Do you see a Rashee Rice style progression into the offense for him, i.e. really ramping him after the midseason? I think that's a good place to start. He's already a very good yards after catch player. That's not something Rashee Rice was good at. So when we talk about the similarities between the two players, I think you do see right now their NFL games can be some of that, with the yards after catch, be more physical as well. The explosiveness with which they take the ball and they run. You see that with Jalen Royals as well as Rashee Rice. Okay. Excuse me. But I think in terms of when we try to compare styles, right? Rashee Rice was forced into that role. He was forced into it because the Chiefs had too many injuries. Right now, Royals is probably the 4/5. And, I'm going to keep doing this because we don't want anything to happen. But, willing, he's not thrust into that situation. And he can be more of a facilitating player. Rotating in, wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5. You want to see him kind of play everywhere. And even after the bye, I don't think you're going to see a point where he's doing what Rashee Rice was doing in his rookie season in terms of handling that workload, being able to do all of that. So I think stylistically, sure, progression, Probably not, because they're going to end up in vastly different situations where you've already got Rasheed, you already have Xavier Worthy, who are going to handle the bulk of those route running moments and those tools, those targets. Excuse me. You've got Hollywood Brown too. So I think next season is when we're going to probably see him take on more of a workload and more of a progression. But it wouldn't shock me if his rookie season in a micro sense looked similar to what Rashee Rice is, just maybe not the stats that we saw for sure. Oh, thank you, Paul. Nice to see. We got lots of different fans from all around the country. All around the world. Here I am just biting my own tongue while I say dumb things. Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate you being here. Cheers, Paul. Thank you for being here tonight. I'll always love that. Love seeing different people from around the world contributing, having a great time. What's going on, Lonnie? Hope all is well with you as well. Dude, I'm doing all right. Had a good day. Got to the gym. I grilled some salmon for dinner. Like, I'm doing good today, man. I'm doing good. Appreciate you being here. All right, Alex. Even if Royals only becomes peak DeMarcus Robinson, will that still be satisfying? No. DeMarcus Robinson was admittedly a very good double move route runner, but he wasn't a complete player. He was not even the yards after catch player that Royals was. If he becomes peak DeMarcus Robinson, I'll be upset. There's so much more. There's so much more there for Jalen Royals. And if he just doesn't ever achieve that, what do you think he can be? What I've seen already, I'll be very disappointed, Alex. Maybe you guys won't be, but this guy will be. Steven, will Jalen Watson be better this season after recovering from his broken ankle? He looked like he was ready to make a leap before the injury. I don't want him to leave. Okay. So I don't think he's going to be leaving. I think he's going to be just the CB4. When you actively go out of your way to bring in Christian Fulton as well on a 2-year deal, not just a 1-year deal, a 2-year deal, and then draft Noah Williams on day 2, you are telling the guys behind them, which are going to be Josh Williams, Najee Johnson, Jalen Watson, we can't trust you. And specifically with Watson, it's more the injury stuff, right? He just didn't look right. And then he got hurt again, right? He got hurt multiple times this year. He's been hurt before. So it's the injury stuff. They just want to have a vast wealth of cornerback talent to where they don't have to worry about Jalen Watson taking on too much. And I think that right now he's going to be CB4. So I don't think he's going to get back to what he was pre-injury. I think that he's going to be a rotational piece, if anything, which isn't a bad thing, but it does show you, I think, what they want to do. And they'd rather have him for depth than having to rely on him as a starter. All right, FLDB. Do you think Trey Smith will be satisfied playing on the franchise tag this year with how much he gets out of it? Yeah, I think this year, I think he'll be very happy considering he was a 6th-round pick. So he's already gotten more money this year than he's ever seen in his entire life collectively. So yeah, absolutely. But I think that considering July 15th is the deadline for the extension, I'm not entirely sure if there's going to be any movement there, which is what upsets me. It's not something that I am confident that they're going to get done. It does suck to think that they're going to go and head into the season where he's on the franchise tag and then he's going to hit free agency. It's a tough spot, but as of right now, I find it hard to believe that he's going to be out there I find it hard to believe that they're going to get this contract situation figured out by the 15th. So it's tough. It's tough for them to be in that situation, but I think he's going to be pretty happy this year just with the money that he's got. I think he still wants to get the big contract, and I think he will get it. I'm just not entirely sold that it's going to be with the Chiefs, which, again, is unfortunate. Alex, what will it take for Mahomes to feel comfortable in the pocket and not feel /see ghosts? It's going to take not getting pressure in his face in less than a second. It's it's going to be developing the feel with with his new tackles, right? How are they going to play Jalen Moore? Are they moving him too much? Are they moving him? Are they playing Josh Simmons? Are they moving more to right? Continuity is important. We know that. I don't think they're going to want to move players around, but if Jawan Taylor's not playing well and Josh Simmons is coming out and just being really good, I think they're going to have a hard time not playing him. But it all comes at a cost. A little bit of time week by the bye week. We know it's a mid-season bye week. I think after that you'll probably see him more comfortable, but also letting him do what he wants to do. At the end of the day, like he needs to be more involved in what and changing the plays of the line of scrimmage based on what he sees in the defense. He needs to be given a little bit more freedom to change the plays, to throw the ball down the field, to not always have to just check it down. Like, I think he's just rushing himself too, which is part of the problem because he's doing that. So there's a lot that will help him be comfortable in the pocket. At the end of the day, it's all based on how he is going to be developed this season with a new offensive line, specifically at the tackles. And you got Kingsley too. Remember, it's going to be a whole new offensive line. It's going to be different. Lee, are you going to any training camp sessions this year? I don't think I'm going to be able to make any of them. We're moving in at the end of July, right around the time training camp starts. We're going to have everything out of our house, and then we're going to be moving to Ohio. Having to come back will be tough to do when we're trying to get everything unpacked and the house set up and everyone settled in right before Avery goes to school at the end of the month. So it might be pretty difficult for me to get out. I'll try. I can't promise anything. Stanley, what's going on? Nice to see you, man. After looking in on some of these other competing teams, camps, and listening to what they are saying, I really see the Chiefs having way less question marks at this point. Your take on this? So right now, this is the peak time for everyone to say the Chiefs are going to be a wild card team, or they're going to be not make the playoffs this year, or barely make it, or lose out the AFC West. That's the peak time for that right now. I don't disagree with you in the sense of question marks, but having potentially 3 new starters along the offensive line for the Chiefs is not good, because again, I don't know what Jawan Taylor is going to do. Like, I don't know how he's going to play and if they're going to have to force him out, but we know 2 for sure, possibly 3 new starters on the offensive line. That's a tough situation for anybody. So that's kind of a question mark. That whole left side still is a question mark with 2 new starters, and that's not going to be easy for them to dive into. Safety is kind of a question. Like, we like Jaden Hicks. What's he going to be? They had to bring Mike Edwards back. Let's not forget that. They're going to have 2 new starters, in my opinion, at corner. So, I mean, the defensive tackle not really set outside of Chris Jones. There's a lot of questions, I think, with this team. So I love the talent on the roster, but I'm not ready to just kind of put them above everybody just because of the roster itself. So I like the Broncos roster a lot. I like the Chargers, the idea of the Chargers. I think that they can be okay, but I'm not sure if they're actually going to be good because I don't trust their defense. But just from everything right now, we don't really know anything. Once we see the first couple of weeks is when we'll have a better idea. But right now, everybody's going to have questions because we just haven't seen anything yet. Oh, sorry, guys. I had lots of water tonight because my throat's already scratchy. All right. Whew. Alex, one of our members, would you like to see Chris Jones have a Poe-like season passing touchdown and receiving touchdown, maybe even rushing touchdown? I would love it. They'll never do it, though. Dontari Poe was awesome, but he was never this level of player for Chris Jones. And they're not going to put him in any other compromising, potentially, situations where he could get hurt, right? That's just not what they're going to do. So I'd love to see it. I just don't think they're ever going to do it. I miss Poe too, specifically because of that. I mean, they could have done that with Colin Saunders, man. Colin Saunders could have thrown touchdowns. He could have run. He could have caught one, man. He would have been. That's why I'm more upset about that one than some of the other stuff. They wouldn't be in such a worse position defensive tackle wise if Colin Saunders was still on the roster. And they could play him at linebacker at times. Missed opportunities, man. Jesse, I'm assuming Fulton and Watson are healthy. If you were the DC, do you put McDuffie in the slot, the outside? What sort of hybrid wide receiver, one shadow cornerback? Okay. Given what we know about the construction of the cornerback room, they don't have another nickel. Chris Rowland-Wallace is the guy that can actually give them nickel snaps. So realistically speaking, I like CRW. I don't know what he's going to be this year. He wasn't perfect nickel, but they have more bodies on the outside than they do in the inside. So what I would do is I would have Trent McDuffie on the outside and base, and then put him in the nickel when they go to nickel, like they did when it was Trent McDuffie and L'Jarius Sneed, and then they brought in Jalen Watson on the outside a few seasons ago. That's what I would do. I don't think I would be moving him around with wide receiver ones. It's not what I would personally do, but consistently do what they already, what they have, what they've done in the past, I think is going to be the best for him and the best for the defense. It allows Noah Williams or Christian Fulton or Jalen Watson to come back on those nickels in those nickel downs and do what they do best. So I think that's realistically what I would do, and I think it's going to be the best situation for them and to get the best out of the defense. Steven, what exactly caused Kingsley's benching last season? Did Andy give up on him too early? Yeah, he did. He got beat up by Trey Hendrickson, lost confidence, and Andy Reid compounded that fact by benching him. I don't think there's any other clear way I could say that. I believe he didn't play. I thought he played pretty well against the Ravens, to be very honest. Lost a couple of reps, sure. He looked pretty good. I thought he was getting his confidence. I thought he was gaining momentum. Trey Hendrickson is a different beast. He's one of the only guys in the league that wins the way that he does. He's a unique matchup problem with very quick hands, bend around the edge for a guy his size and short arms. I mean, he's unique. And Andy Reid just benched him after that. I think it destroyed his confidence. And he already, again, when you're 20, 21 years old and you're trying to do what you can in the league, right? You're trying. Like, you get 2 games and your coach, not even 2 games, and your coach benches you. For a guy, honestly, who was worse. Wanya Morris was worse than Kingsley was collectively. Again, he only got 2 games. So that's me. That's what I think. That's what I think happened. Whew, another one here from Alex. So, guys, again, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome in. Pop a squat, grab a drink, ask a question. We're going to hang out a little bit here. I appreciate you too, Jesse. Thank you for that. All right, Dan, can we take a moment to appreciate that we don't have a wide receiver running backwards after the catch? Sorry had to get that off my chest. So that's always a good thing. I mean, I think that there are some players that might still try to do that if they have enough space because they have speed. But at the end of the day, you're not Demarcus Robinson and out there. You're not MBS and out there. Those guys are just, I don't know, man. That stuff still it's just like the LaShawn McCoy stuff where he's carrying like a loaf of bread. Demarcus Robinson did that too. It was awful, man. It's just so bad to see those things. And we don't have to watch that right now. So hopefully going into the future, we don't have to worry about any of that nonsense, Alex. Appreciate you. All right. Dana Davis, was trading Thuney the right move? Does Kingsley have the potential to be an above average guard? I don't think it was the right move, personally. Specifically when we bring in the context of the contract that he signed with the Bears for roughly $17-18 million per season, which was less than the Chiefs are paying him, and it's less than the Chiefs are paying Trey Smith. But I do think Kingsley has the potential to be an above average guard. So the talent has never been a question. Like he can play inside, he can play outside, and the talent has never been a question. Right now, it's more of the confidence issue. Does he have the ability to get his head out of his ass, for lack of a better word, um, and get going? And hopefully, confidence wise, he can continue to do that because the length, the power, the body, the frame, all that stuff, it's all there. He can be, well, a very good player, above average. Sorry. So back to the Kingsley thing. It's more of just about the opportunity, right? He's got the opportunity right now. It feels like he's gained his confidence back. The Chiefs have some more confidence in him to be able to play next to whether it's Jalen Moore or Josh Simmons and Creed Humphrey. Hopefully, it works out. Like that. That's all you can do right now. The talent is there. It's all about how you can get to it. But yeah, I do think that trading Thuney was not the right move, in my opinion. I understand why they did it. Makes sense. Get younger, get out of the contract. I get all of those things, but I wouldn't have done it. Steven, how badly do we need a free safety with speed? Um, they need someone uh, that has the instincts to be able to play. You don't even necessarily need speed. You need the instincts to see the plays happening and unfolding as it's happening, and be able to have that instinctual first step in the right direction. It's that football IQ stuff that puts players in the right position. Like Kyle Hamilton's not the fastest guy in the world, but he has those instincts to play free safety because he can do everything. So not necessarily with speed, but they need guys like Mike Edwards who can see things as they're happening. And now Mike's not the best free safety in the world either, but he's a competent player. But you see with Brian Cook that he does not have that processing to see what's happening and to collectively be able to put himself in the position where the football is going to be down the field when it happens that way. So they need another versatile safety. Again, Hicks is going to be a very, very good player, but he's a Justin Reed type player. I think he can be better than Justin Reed even was in Kansas City. And again, I was very, very high on Hicks coming out. I think he's going to be a fantastic player, but he's not a free safety. That's just not a role you can put him in and expect him to succeed. The same goes with Brian Cook, Chamari Connor. Those guys have very similar skill sets. Oh, excuse me. In terms of what they will excel at. Now, Hicks is going to be the best of them, but Mike Edwards is there for a reason. But they do need more talent at safety, more talent at free safety. The guys that can play nickel, that can play on the outside, deep down the field in two highs and in single high. Whew. All right, Steve, another one from me here. If Bryce Young ends up getting cut from Carolina, would you take a gamble on him to back up Patrick? I mean, first of all, yes, I would, but I don't think he's going to get cut. I think he made some pretty good progress last season. This is the make or break year for him. I think if he continues to get better, I think he'll be fine. But I still think even if he doesn't play all that well next year, that he's not going to get cut right away. So maybe in a few years, but at that point in time, like it's all Chiefs probably have a different backup, and it's just going to be more about guys that know the game, that Andy Reid trusts, that Patrick wants to have behind him. So personally, yeah, sure, but I don't think he's going to get cut myself. All right, Adam, who is a better safety, Cook or Hicks? Hicks, and it's not close. Cook's fine. Cook is a fine safety, but he's a box safety that is being forced to play too high and high. He's not been able to do the role that he's best at. And that's unfortunate for him. But this is what the Chiefs do. They draft these guys that are box safeties and they put them at too high, or they put them in nickel. And then they have Jaden Hicks, who I think is going to be able to do a bit of everything, just not really that true single high or deep safety in any stretch. But we'll see for Cook this year. I personally, when they drafted him, I understood like the role that he'd be best at, but they had guys that could already do that on the roster, and they kind of forced him to be something that he's not. So I'm just not in the right mindset to say that he's going to be very good for them this year and going forward. I think after this year, he's going to be cut personally. Another one here from me, Jesse. I know this is a way too early question and that there will be an infinite amount of unknown variables, but let's have some fun. What positions would you be targeting in the next draft? All right, running back. Easy. I'm going to target running back. Let's assume real quick that Jalen Moore doesn't actually work out and you have to cut Juwan Taylor. You're still going after tackle. I still think that I like Issa Pole, I like Ethan Driscoll as developmental players. None of them are finished products. So I still think tackle in that case would be on the board. I'm drafting tight end. I'm probably going to be considerably high on drafting tight end, defensive tackle. And again, let's just assume next year Mike Dana is gone. Charles Menahue is gone. We don't know what happens with George Karlaftis. Defensive ends back on the table. That's what I'm looking at. Those are the positions. Appreciate you, Jesse. Jeffy, my comp for Royals is Jaden Reed from Green Bay. What do you think? I don't hate that. I don't hate the comp. Royals is a much sturdier, bigger receiver than Jaden Hicks, and he can play more on the outside and block a bit better as well. So from a versatility standpoint, I completely see it. They're very good after the catch. They see the field well. They're going to be good zone players. I love Jaden Reed. I mean, he's one of my hits from a few seasons ago. I was a big fan of his. Ended up going, obviously, the Packers in the second round and doing pretty damn well for himself. So I was pretty happy about that. And I think that Royals can be just as good as Jaden Reed and can play a little bit more variety in terms of playing on the outside and give you a little bit more with that physical presence that he can bring too. So I don't hate that at all. I think the play style those two play styles make a lot of sense though. All right. What makes you think Andy won't treat Josh Simmons the same way he did Kingsley if he struggles? Oh, they're not going for a three-peat. I think that's the biggest reason that he didn't get the benefit of the doubt. Personally, because they were going for a three-peat and they didn't want to put that up to chance. They wanted to win 3 in a row and make sure that there weren't going to be any derailings. You know, at the end of the day, there was, even because they went into the season with Wanya Morris and Kingsley being your only guys on the roster at left tackle. But at the end of the day, that's kind of what I think. I'm also I don't think Josh Simmons is mentally built the same way. And the reason I say that is because he did the small school thing first, transferred to Ohio State, and excelled. Where Kingsley, I think he played well at BYU, and he was more of the developmental prospect drafted in the second round. I think that Simmons was a top 10 player, and he's built like that mentally. So think we'll be getting a little bit different with what they can do for each other. That's what I'm hoping anyway. Mike Burton, welcome in, my friend. Considering the Chiefs still haven't locked up Trey Smith, do you think they would have been better off trading Smith to the highest bidder and locking down Thuney for a couple more years instead? Yeah, that's if you could have done so, then yeah, absolutely. I think that would have been great to see them do that because I think that gives them the best opportunity, right? I really believe that Trey Smith, if you could have gotten a day 2 pick for him, not have to pay him $23+ million a season, which again, you're probably going to have to be able to keep him in Kansas City and then lock up Joe for a couple more years at $17-18 million and put Kingsley at right tackle or right guard, I think you're probably better. I do. I believe it. Maybe I'm naive. But I do think that would have been the best option. Maybe they didn't have any suitors. Who knows? Steven, are you encouraged about the Pistons after seeing a young team like the Thunder win the title? I mean, I'm encouraged because Cade's a superstar. Like, I truly believe he is, and I think he's going to get better next year. I'm a little worried about going forward, what happens, what moves they're going to make this offseason. I still think that they are at least a piece and a half away. There's a lot of potential for sure that they need I love Jalen Duren. I still think he's too inconsistent. Obviously, the injury to I did this last time too. Like I can see his face. To Jaden Ivey, there it is. The injury to Jaden Ivey hurt them, but they had good veteran presences and Dennis Schroeder, who was great off the bench, Tobias Harris, but Asur Thompson needs to take a next step. Like, he needs to be a much more legitimate scorer if they're going to get better. And then they need to make a move. They need to get a real big, in my mind, or maybe someone to upgrade over Tobias Harris for their power forward. I don't see him being the guy who's going to take them there. I think Cade's going to be great, and hopefully, Ivy can get better going forward, and the young roster can get better. There's always potential there, but I am worried that they're not going to be as good as they could be if they don't make another move here or two before the season. Alex, is Chanel a better coverage guy than Nick Bolton? Also, I know the veterans love Bassa. Not sure if I'm typing that right. Bassa. I think he moves better than Nick Bolton, but I'm not entirely sure if he's a better coverage player. I would say he's probably better man-to-man than Nick Bolton is, and I think that zone-wise, Nick's better than Leo, just because he has far more practice doing so. All right, last call here for questions, and we'll get you guys out of here this evening. Again, thank you so much for being here. I know there's weird scheduling stuff with it being on a Tuesday, but I do appreciate it. Is Kelce really serious about another year, or is he saying that to get the coverage off his back and focus on the team? That's probably a very good assumption. Very good assumption. I personally don't think he's going to play another year. But again, we don't actually know because I can't be in Travis Kelce's head. I say no, and I think that he's trying to use it as a distraction so that everyone focuses on the team and stops asking him about if he's going to retire. So hopefully that's what it is, and allows himself to also focus on just another year. A last one here I see from Kevin. Dan, will you be going to the Buffalo game since you're moving to Ohio? I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to go all over to Buffalo for that game just because I'm in Ohio. I'm actually closer to the west side of Ohio, so I still can travel to Cincy. It's like an hour and a half ish away from where I'll be living, but I don't think I'll be traveling over to Buffalo. Who knows? Maybe one time. All right, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all being here again. I know with all the weird stuff going on with the offseason that it's hard to see on a Tuesday that the Q&A got moved, and apologize about not being on Monday. Going forward, hopefully we'll have more consistency with that. Ryan should be back for a longer period of time after this week. So going forward, like I said, the schedule changes a little bit for this week. Tomorrow, Gary has a video for you. Thursday will be my video. It's a little bit different. There is some film, but we're talking about some camp battles, some wild cards that we'll see for this training camp into the preseason. So I'm interested to see what you guys have about that. And then we got one last question here. Just going to sneak in another couple of ones in here from Bradley. Nice to see you, man. What's going to be unique for me as cornerback room in this training camp? Yeah, talked a little bit about the cornerbacks situation because we don't really know what's going to happen at nickel. If Trent McDuffie is going to play the majority of those nickel snaps, which I probably lean towards because there's no other real nickel on the roster unless CRW takes that step forward. But I am interested to see how it shakes out. Joshua Williams, Najee Johnson, Jalen Watson, who is going to be the guy that stands up in training camp and in the preseason to really solidify themselves as CB4. Would imagine it's probably Jalen Watson, but hopefully guys like Christian Fulton and Noel Williams continue to show out. Granted, Noel's been playing. I don't think Christian Fulton's been doing a whole lot, but Noel Williams has been doing fantastic. I'll sneak in an NBA question in. Chicago Bulls fan here. I'm absolutely sick of this organization. Okay, with being mediocre and selling the tickets because they know they can last forever with Jordan built. I don't know if any organization is okay being mediocre. But it's tough to follow an all-time great. Speaking as a Red Wings fan, getting to watch Steve Yzerman, Pavel Datsyuk, Henrik Zetterberg, the Russian Five, getting to watch Brendan Shanahan and Brett Hull, those were great generations of hockey teams. It's hard to follow. And right now, Stevie's trying to rebuild what he did in Detroit. It's not, or what he did in Tampa Bay. It's not easy to just go in. It takes a lot. It takes getting lucky, right? The NBA lottery is nonsense. We just watched the Dallas Mavericks, who had the 4th worst odds to win the number 1 overall pick, win it, and then see the San Antonio Spurs luck into the 2nd pick. It's BS. The lottery is stupid, and the Bulls are unlucky. The Pistons were unlucky until they got Cade. It happens, man. I don't think that they're okay being mediocre. I just think that they lost a lot of their luck on the Michael Jordan of it all, man. It sucks. I understand it, man. But you guys can ask me whatever questions you want whenever we're doing these on normal times too, not just tonight when it's just me. When Ryan's here too, throw whatever kind of questions you want to at me. I'm ready to answer. But again, different schedule for videos this week. Next week, I'm not going to be at home, but I will be on the Q&A on Monday. I'll have my laptop, my microphone with me, so I can still do those as well. But you guys, thank you for being here with me tonight. I do appreciate the support as always, and make sure you tune in tomorrow for Gary, myself on Thursday with a new kind of video that we're going to test out for you guys, and hopefully we don't get flagged this time from the NFL for using some film, which they're caring a lot about right now. So have a great rest of your week. Sorry, Jeremy, that you just got in here. I just saw that right now. Go back. You might have to go back and watch all the questions. I appreciate you being here, but I got to get out of here tonight, guys. I will see you tomorrow or next time. Nice to see you guys. Appreciate you stopping in, guys. Have a great night. I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.